Hey YouTube! This is Tiffany and I am back after maybe a year of filming. I mean, many things have changed since then. Last time I updated you guys, that was summer after junior year going into my senior year. I have gone through the process of thesis and graduated, and now I have a job. So yeah, I don't even know where to start, so let's just start somewhere. So where I am today I am currently working in the corporate world within fashion industry. I'm working in Ralph Lauren and I'm in the little baby design team, so yay! I'm so thankful. I mean, where do I begin? So Thesis was a big roller coaster, and I think one thing that I just want to say, which I'm very, very thankful for, is that Thesis, even though we enter in with this mindset that's like Thesis is going to be the worst year ever and you can't do anything else other than Thesis, you have to live and breathe Thesis. Before the year even began, I wanted to put that mindset down first. When we enter into something with some kind of expectation of it being negative or positive, we tend to have more of a, what is that word? A pre-positioning of how your year might go. Before anything began, I just wanted to lay down everything and say, "No, God, I know you got me. It'll be okay." Like, I just want to try the best that I can. And the number one thing that I've heard from alumni is, you know, you're going to do fine. I mean, it's going to be hard, but what they enjoyed the most, or what they wish they had done, is that they just wanted to create something that they really enjoy doing, right? What a gift it is that you have your 4 years and your final year to do whatever you want, right? And so, of course, they're your professors, and different situations may alter the way that you design, you know, whatever topic you decide to do for your thesis. The number one thing is that, you know, once you graduate, unless you're completely doing your own company or whatever it may be, it's going to be really hard to work on your own things, right, full time. And so you're given your 1 year to create whatever you want. And so they told me to just enjoy the process of doing that. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to do. I focused in on how I can really maximize the amount of time I was doing what I wanted to do. And of course, that doesn't mean that it was easy by any means, right? Every day was a challenge. I, of course, still pulled many all-nighters because there are deadlines, right? And there are expectations, and a lot of expectations I had set for myself too, because I'm a go-getter and I work hard, and I knew the vision of what I wanted. No, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I think for Thesis, every week it kind of changed and altered, but ultimately I knew that I wanted to do something that I would be proud of having created. Yeah, so first thing, I guess this is also turning into a thesis video. Well, number one thing is, don't go in with the expectation of what people say what thesis is like. It doesn't have to be a big cloud over your head. That is a dreadful thing. Go in with expectations of wanting to enjoy throughout thesis. And you have to, of course, get yourself ready for the challenges to come, but make sure that you want to enjoy what you are doing. I would also say that, you know, sometimes people think that the Parsons thesis exhibit won't go anywhere. By the end of the year, you're so tired, you're exhausted, you're like married to this project, but also you want to throw it out. I mean, you get really exhausted with it sometimes, you know, after all that hard work. Yeah, sometimes you're just like, I just look forward to graduating, and that's it. Which I get, that's what I felt too. But I also wanted to make sure that the work that I've worked on for the whole year was presented in a way that was very rewarding. And what better gift than Parsons giving us a chance to display everything that we have worked on throughout the year, right? And so I took that chance. I made sure that my Parsons end of year thesis exhibit was presented in a way that I was proud of. Everyone's thesis is so different. Even the way that you display it, the way that you go about it, it's not always a collection of like 5 or 6 different clothes. It's not always jackets and things. But yeah, just wanted to let you know that it is a very exciting project to work on. And so, yeah, make sure that you do try your best for the Parsons exhibit because important people come through. You would think that it's just your parents and friends that are just coming by to just like congratulate you on your good job well done, which is true, which is wonderful. But also there's like talent acquisition directors that come by, or different magazine editors, and so many renowned people come by to see what kind of work is out there and what this class has done. For me, actually, the talent acquisition director had come by unsuspectingly, right? Like, I didn't even know that anyone was looking at my work. Apparently, she had gotten my business card. She contacted me a few months after. And so there are so many different ways and routes that people go through the job process, right? But continue to remind yourself to be kind to yourself, to be easy on yourself. We just don't know the timing of it. Timing is so different for everyone. So trust in that process. Trust the process that you are going on. And some people might start applying for jobs right after graduation, or even during February or March of that year before graduation. And some people might already have a job lined up after they graduate. You never know at what point different companies and different opportunities may reach you. Maybe it's not a career, like a job that you're meant to follow, but maybe it's another passion that you want to go through, right? Maybe you have a different project that you want to work on that is very worthwhile for your life. I think the early 20s is the time when you are able to experiment without high risk. That is such an opportunistic time. You don't have to rush through everything. Don't feel like you are a failure just because you don't get a job right after graduation or even before graduating. And even a few months in, like after 3 or 4 months down the line after graduation, if you don't have a job, don't hate yourself for it. It's okay. Because some of my friends even have done different kinds of smaller internships and different freelance jobs, and they end up landing on a bigger opportunity many months after that. And remember, there is purpose in every season. In every given point of your year, there is purpose, right? And so be kind to yourself and be patient, but work hard. So going back to my story, it was crazy because the talent acquisition director had reached out to me. She saw my project, she really liked it, and so she had called me in. I interviewed with them for the denim team, and so I did this whole like special project, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like so close to getting into the denim team, voila. And so I felt like pretty proud of my special project that they had given me, but alas, yeah, I guess they just found someone that had a more fitting background for them, right? A background meaning like their work. And so I was really devastated. I was like, I felt so close. And I think that's the hardest thing. Like when you're so close to achieving something, but then like you don't get it, it's like, what did I do? But you know what? I learned that you have to get over that. You have to just get over it real quick. Don't settle and dwell on the hurts or the failures, because it's not a failure, it's fine. Like you'll find another thing, but you have to get up from that point so that you can work for something else and find that new next opportunity, right? If you're moping, just dwelling in that place, then there's no progress from that. For me, I was like, I'm gonna step up, move on, and I was still in contact with the talent acquisition director, and she was like, you know, why don't you actually try for a baby team? And so she had linked me to the baby team to interview with them. And so same thing, I interviewed with them, and then they gave me a special project, and I worked really hard, really hard for the project, trying to make sure that I really researched into the brand. I made sure that I knew what their story was, like what their vision was and their mission, and I was like going in, researching, I was like, I love this company and I'm gonna name every part that I love. But that's really important for when you're doing a special project. It's like you have to put yourself in the shoes of the designer or whichever position that you're going into, and you ultimately have to know what the brand wants, what the people want, what story are they telling, and how could you be a part of that storytelling. I try to not just spin my own story into it, but try to make sure that what I was telling was in line with the brand's vision. I'm just thankful for that opportunity. I really thank God for it. I just want to say, even when there are times when opportunities fall and it just seems like you're not doing something right, just know that there are so many different reasons why the company might not hire you. It's not just about your portfolio or the way that you have presented yourself. It's not always about that. It's also different timings. Different people might have fit for the job better than you. Not saying that you were, not a great candidate, but maybe it was just that the other person just fit better with what they were looking for. But you might be a perfect candidate for another company, right? Make sure to give yourself some room, expect some downfalls, but be ready to pick yourself back up and brush it off and just say, okay, what opportunity is there next for me? What can I do to make sure that I have the resources that I need to move on? But also, after a long period of time, it's hard to get yourself back up. So when that time really comes, when you're dropped from 4 or 5 different companies left and right, it's so hard to just move on from that. Going back to my other point is be kind to yourself. And make sure that when that moment comes and you just feel like you don't have the energy to put your best presentation out there, if you can't present yourself well, then it's okay to take a time off. And I know I used to get psyched out about leaving space within my resume periods, right? On my resume, I don't want to have months of gaps, but don't psych yourself out for it. If you need it, take a few weeks off to realign and remember your purpose of what you're doing, why you're doing it. In that way, maybe you'll be able to have that healing time and be re-encouraged to progress. Rest is also really important, and endurance is really important too. I guess if I want to summarize what I have all said is be kind to yourself, be patient, work hard, and give yourself rest if needed. And that's for thesis as well. If you need rest, if you can't function, your creativity, your mind is completely and fully linked and connected to your body. If this is not in motion, if this is not rested, then of course that'll affect my brain. And you wonder to yourself, why am I stuck? And you get even more frustrated, and then that affects your emotions, that affects your mental health, that affects your body even. You might get sick. And so there are so many more setbacks when you jeopardize your physical state. Make sure that you are getting enough sleep. I mean, enough sleep is very relative, but make sure you are sleeping. Make sure that you are taking at least a few hours to go outside, take some fresh air. If you're working from home, go outside, go to a cafe that you like, take some time to yourself, and don't worry or think about thesis too much in that time when you have set that time for yourself. If you work from school, step out of school, go somewhere else for even an hour or 2. And make sure that you're eating well. Don't skip out on meals just because you're working. Just because other people are doing that doesn't mean that they will get further. Just because you are looking left and right and comparing yourself to other people doesn't mean you will get forward, right? That only creates so much more impact on your brain and on your self-esteem when you start comparing, and that is poison to you. Don't look left and right. If you're doing it to compare, step out of that. But make sure you're looking forward, you're holding hands with your thesis classmates, who I've had so much fun with, by the way. Your thesis classmates are going to be your best friends, kind of. But make sure you buddy up and you continue to encourage one another and enjoy time with people, with friends around you. And keep your head straight. It's okay. Post-grad life, to just summarize it all, I actually really, really treasure this time. I'm still tired. Comparing school life and post-grad working life, kind of incomparable. Those two are apples and oranges because there's a season for everything. There were pros and cons, difficulties, and the funs of college life, but also there's also difficulties, challenges, and the blessings of post-grad life. Personally, I love the working life, especially in a setting where I have set hours for work that are always kind of set unless it's like totally busy season. But for the most part, it's like I work 9 to 6. And then on the weekends, I have complete freedom to do whatever I want. And that's the only thing I pray for. I was like, I just want set time so that I can have a life outside. So whether that be like I have a family later on down the line, or even like right now I serve at church and spend time with my family and friends. There's so many different things that I want to do. And so it's like, you know, my work, career life is really important, but also I know that things are okay. I don't know if I have said everything, if there are more things to say. I'm not sure. But overall, would I go back to college life? I mean, I love the creative freedom. I loved creating my own projects. It was so fun. I loved working hard. But I appreciate my work life right now. Yes. You are not slaves to your work, okay? Remind yourself that every single day when you are working on your thesis. You are not a slave to your thesis. You own that. Thesis is yours. Yeah. I know that you can do it. And I hope that you can continue to give yourself room for opportunities and be kind to yourself. I've said that so many times in this video, but that is my mind. Be kind to everyone around you. You never know what opportunities might come within that, and you have to believe and trust in that process. There's so many different opportunities, so I hope you find yourself that opportunity that you are looking for, and I send you many blessings. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Until later, see you guys, friends, and I hope that I can make more videos. I promise this time. Yeah, but comment below on like what you want me to talk about now that I'm not in school anymore and I can't be talking about each class. I am running out of ideas. So let me know. I'm still in New York, by the way. I work in New York. So yeah, and if you see me around, say hello and let's grab coffee. Bye! Ooh.